Hello Chaos Gang and welcome back to my bullshit. My name is Sybil. Today I'm here alone. If you want any value or as social, they'll be down in the description below. So today I am super excited. One, because Magic the Gathering just released their Lord of the Rings sets. I'm not sponsored by it. I'm just so excited. And two, we're doing a video that somebody in specific has been asking for months and I just kept forgetting to do it, but when I went to go find content for it, my god, it's so funny. Content, I love it. So let's get into men writing woman subreddit. Why did I say women like that? Woman. Let's just start with one of the most terrible ones. I want you to get a good grasp on what this is. Lo and behold, Tom Jr. Tom didn't mind at first. He'd liked playing Eleanor from behind while she was hugely animal pregnant by him, a female mammal who'd started his seed. He'd liked her taut, impregnated belly, he licked her belly button, he nibbled her ear. When the baby was born, Tom drank at Ellie's... Oh, I didn't read this whole thing before I saved it. I just read the female mammal part and I went, yeah, this is going in. Can I put this on the internet? Can I say this? Moo. I might have to bleep some of that. I'm so uncomfortable. When I said we were starting with the worst one, I didn't realize how bad. God, I hope that's the worst one, because most of these I did not read fully through. I like to be as surprised as y'all, but maybe I should do some more proofreading beforehand next time. Wow. What is this book about? What book was this? Our Lady of the Force by David Gutterson. I'll put that on, you know how people have like a TBR, which I do have because I'm a bit of a reader. I know, breaking the stereotype of gays can't read. This is my TBNR, to be never read. I drove back into town, full of the look of her, full of the impact of her. It was an impact that made the day, the trees, the city all look more vivid. Her face was special and clear in my mind, the wide mouth, the one crooked tooth, the gray slant of her eyes. Her figure was good, shoulders just a bit too wide, hips just a shade too narrow to be classic. Her legs were long, with clean lines. Her flat back and the inswept lines of her waist were lovely. Her breasts were high and wide-spaced, with a flavor impertinence, almost arrogance. Okay, so the description is like good, like I'm building the vision in my head, and then he just goes, her breasts were high and wide-spaced, with a flavor of impertinence, almost arrogance. Like, the breasts are mocking him? I can almost get what he was trying to go for, but it's just that twinge of men trying to create something that isn't there in breasts, which they often do in storytelling. I love the title of that the person who posted this said, which is, ladies, what mood are our breasts in today? Because that's genuinely the vibe this gives. So he's basically calling her breasts rude. That's so disrespectful. He's sitting here being like, here's all the things I love about her, but God, I just want to tear her clothes off. Her breasts are staring at me so rudely, so I cannot touch upon her bosom. A Bullet for Cinderella, published by John D. McDonald. Behind him, a pretty little red-haired teeny bopper. Okay, what's a teeny bopper? Sorry, we're cutting it right there. We gotta find this out immediately. A young teenager, typically a girl who keenly follows the latest fashions in clothes and pop music. Don't like where this is going. Red-haired teeny bopper, braless and white shorts, smiled excitedly and said, we always catch you on Tuesday night. You're fantastic. And you look in real life, you look just like on the screen. Except that in real life, you're more, you know, tanned. Her friendly nipples jiggled. Okay, first of all, we have the sexualizing of young people. Already terrible, already not good. But I jiggled? Do you know how breasts work? This gives the vibe, like, you know, when you're watching anime or a video game kind of equivalent art style where boobs just go like your character like moves to the side just a little bit and then it's like but this is even worse because it's specifying a part that doesn't really jiggle on its own. Like, I'm trying to visualize how just those would bop around, little, at least they're friendly. Whoever it was that told me to do this, I'm so sorry I kept you waiting. I would do this for every video if I could. This is hilarious. Oh, don't worry, the next one's a comic. All of you, your worry growing as you're sitting there. You're like, no, please don't actually show me the visuals of what we're speaking about. Bill, God, you scared the hell out of me. Shh, Brotherhood troops and those Utah jerks are everywhere. You need a hand with that? Please, it's a really strong steel cable. It must have drained 24 people and I still can't break it. The only way I was gonna get out of that thing was breast reduction surgery. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Whoa. That is possibly one of the funniest things I have read in a very long time. So I will say kudos to the writing. The only problem is it's dumb. I'm laughing because it's stupid, but that's what makes it so funny. Honestly, I'm not even gonna roast this one. It made me laugh, like, genuinely. The other ones are just kind of creepy, or they say something that's not meant to be funny, so therefore it's funny. This one is a joke and it landed. I fucking... Don't you dare. This next one is titled Stephen King is On to Us, My Friends, Fairy Tale by Stephen King. The goose girl raised her arms over her head, pulling up the fabric of her dress taut against admiral breasts. Yes, I noticed. Sue me. She clapped twice. They're becoming self-aware. I saw the titties, and I know you're gonna make fun of me for it. Sue me. She had great tits, brother. Man, those jugs were milking. God, okay, stop. That made me go back to the moo. Okay, back to the moo. A female mammal who had started his seed. Moo, moo, moo. Oh my god. Haunting. That's gonna haunt me. Celine by Peter Heller. Her chest heaved. She was wearing a low-cut v-neck thing with no bra, and there was a lot of chest to heave. But did the chest heave? No, I'm just confused if the chest heaved. I feel like within one sentence we didn't really find out if the chest heaved enough. Was the chest capable of heaving? I really can't tell. So did the chest heave? I like how it's also referred to as a low-cut v-neck thing. I also love not even knowing the context of this, because to me, this seems like a little bit of an intense scene from what I can tell. Like the line up before it is, "That's enough, she said, I can't live like this." And then it's like, what if we just dial in? Breasts. I could see the woman's shoulders and bosom. Existence in the nude. Those two, the idea suddenly horrified me. Those two were still existing somewhere in Bouville. Somewhere in the midst of what smells, that soft bosom was still rubbing up against cool material nestling in lace, and the woman was still feeling her bosom exciting in her blouse, thinking, my tits, my lovely fruits, smiling mysteriously, attentive to the blossoming of her breasts which were tickling her, and then I cried out and I found myself with my eyes wide open. Did I dream it up, that huge presence? What woman has ever said, my tits, my lovely fruits? What book is this? Nausea by Jean-Paul Sartre. It sounded like I said Chart. Did I dream it up, that huge presence? Wow, breasts so fucking fine they make you go, was that real or but a dream? Determined and as if impatient, she leaned over and touched his eyelids, cheeks, lips with the tips of her breasts. She just rubbing them all over. She's just laying over him going, he's just motorboating. But no, because she's touching him with the tips of her breasts, which means he's just there, just sitting there as she just... I don't know why breasts make that noise. Wait, she touched his eyelids with her what now? Dude wasn't even up yet? Wait, is he not even awake in this scene? Her body tensed and quivered as she felt wave after wave surge through it. I probably should have told her about the new electric fence. That's just a banger. What's this book? Unknown? No, it can't be. If anybody knows what book that is, I need it. She threw herself forward into Simon Quick's arms. In the air, over the black, threatening water, her mind was filled with one thought. She had broken the straps on her bra. And as he caught her, through all the clothes they were wearing, in spite of the tension of the moment, Quick felt the firm fluidity of her breasts. Leave it to male authors to always somehow make even a dire situation sexual. I've never read this book with the context we're given in the screenshot though. It's clear that something's about to happen. People may be dying even possibly. Black threatening water. And he says, but let's talk about her breasts and how firm but fluid they are. Her breasts made of water were but firm liquid. Bangers only. Unable to prevent herself, she yelled, and the stream of brightness became a flood spilling from her eyes and nostrils and from between her legs. I don't even know what the context is, so I feel like I can't properly understand what this is even trying to discuss, like what the brightness is and what the flood is, because if it's spilling from her eyes and nostrils, I don't understand the context and correlation that would even get us to from between her legs. It just makes me a little uncomfy. Male psychiatrists can't even help themselves from sexualizing a woman at her absolute psychic worst. Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. Let's read this passage. The patient, Miss Kappert, silly little name, seemed both to be fighting for breath and to be breathing rapidly enough to induce hypocapnia. The doctor could not be expected not also to notice that she had fairly large breasts that rose and fell rapidly inside the circle of arms with which she hugged her knees. So you're telling me this woman is like this, crying, and you're looking at the chest heave, the chest that is heavable, the heave of the chest that can heave. There you go, everyone. That was men writing women. And actually, it might be one of my new favorite subreddits I've ever read. Actually, there was one meme that really ties together this entire experience that I found on there. Every writer describing women in this sub. She was such a strong female woman with nice heavy breasts. Yes, and we will end with that. Thank you for going on this adventure. All of my stuff is in the description, and I hope you have a lovely day. What am I gonna take? Perhaps just a hand today. For I do not have the physical Lord of the Ring cards, I have but the Magic the Gathering cards on Magic the Gathering Arena. Goodbye and farewell. I look like I'm opening the portal in Spider-Man. Find Peter Parker!